Hello children. So today we are going to continue with the chapter metals and non-metals. In that today we are going to discuss about introduction to metals. So before starting that we'll have to get to know what is metals. So what are metals? Here I have written what are metals. Okay. Metals are those substances which have 1, 2 or 3 valence electrons. Okay. Metals are those which have substance which have 1, 2 or 3 valence electrons. So for example, as we discussed about the valence, so just taking nucleus and the orbit shells will be there. Okay. So the lost shell, we call it as valence shell, isn't it? The lost shell, we call it as valence shell. Inside this valence shell, we will have 1, 2 or 3 electrons. It depends on 1, 2 or 3 electrons. So as we know that metals means it contains only positive charge. So it is said to be like this. Metals are those substances which have 1, 2 or 3 valence electrons. Okay children. So nucleus will be here at the center and the valence shells, valence electrons will be in the outermost area. Okay. So this is the outermost area, that is valence shell, we call it as. So metals always carry out positive charge. And then metals have tendency to always lose to form electropositive ions. It means that tendency to always lose to form electropositive ions. Say for example, here I have taken Na. Na means it is the symbol of sodium. Okay, where will lose electrons. Metals are those which lose electrons. Okay, electrons will represent it like this. Okay, electrons. So how many electrons you lose, that many valence you get. Okay. So for example, here sodium is losing its electron. So it means that it means that it is getting valence. It is getting the positive ions. So it will be Na plus. Okay. So it will lose electrons and gain positive charge. Where it loses electrons, it gains positive charge. For such, we call it as electropositive ions. So negative charge ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Not the electric charge, the electrons which will be there, which will lose the electrons. Electrons na lose ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಷ್ಟುನು it gains the positive charge. It gains positive charge. So that charge we call it as electropositive ions. Got it? Now got an idea? Similarly, just taking one other example, that is magnesium. Here I have taken magnesium, where the valence electron is 2, isn't it? The valence electron is 2. So it means that it has 2 electrons, where it is losing 2 electrons. Minus means lose. Okay, minus means it is losing electrons, means it gains electropositive. So it will be Mg2 plus. Clear children? So it contains valence electron, here is 1, so it contains plus charge only 1, whereas here the valence electron is 2, so it has gained 2 positive electrons. Okay, so how many it will be? If say for example, if it is losing 1 electron, it will be 1 positive ion. If it is losing 2 electrons, then it will be 2 positive electropositive ions. If it is 3 electrons, then it will be 3 electropositive ions. Got it? So how many it loses the electron, that many electropositive ions it gain. So all together, what we'll call these as electropositive ions. So all this together we call this as electropositive ions. So now moving on to physical properties of metals. So in physical properties of metals, we have malleable, ductile, good conductor of heat and electricity, sonorous, lustrous, solid at room temperature, and lastly the high melting and boiling point we have. So lastly, that is high melting and boiling point. So these are the physical properties of metals that we are gonna study. So let us study one by one in detail. Okay, when we study in detail, so firstly we are taking malleable. So malleable means those metals which have beaten into thin sheets. So say for example, metal sheet will be there. If we beaten the metal with hammer, okay, say for example, this is the hammer. If you beat the metal, it forms to be thin layer. Okay, this is the hammer. When you beat the metal, it becomes thin layer. Okay, so when it is beaten metal with hammer, they convert it into thin sheets. They convert it into thin sheets. That is meaning of malleable. So it means those metals which can be beaten into thin sheets is called malleable. Okay, children. So for example, here I have taken aluminium foil. Aluminium foil, you people must have seen. It will be used in preservative of food. Say for example, or else in hotels, it will be used for carrying out food materials. Okay, say for example, when we take parota or chapatis, they roll it with fossil, aluminium fossil, they roll it, isn't it? It will be thin sheet which will be rolled and given. So it is used in packing of food materials. So most of the metals are malleable. So I hope this is understood. It means that metals which can be beaten into thin sheets. A metal which can be beaten like this into thin sheet is called malleable, and example is aluminium foil. Okay, malleable and highly malleable. We can differentiate like this. One is malleable and another one is highly malleable. So what is malleable? Malleable means we can take it as aluminium and copper. Okay, so aluminium, we got to know that preservative of, to keep it covered, we take it for food preservatives. And copper also, we can form it into thin layer. Copper no now hodibodalva. So when we beaten the copper, it gets thin layer of sheet. So this is malleable. Highly malleable we too have, which is gold, where the formula is Au, and silver, it is Ag. So these are highly malleable. Got it? So now moving on to next, that is ductile. What is the meaning of ductile? Ductile can either be called as ductility or ductile. Anything we can call it as. Okay. So it means that ductile metals are those metals which can be drawn into thin wires. Say for example, thin wires which will be used in electric currents, electric circuit currents. When we use we use those electric into thin wires, we use it. So for example, copper wire. So if we assume to be this as wire, copper electric wire, it contains some thin layers of copper inside the wire. Thin layers of copper wire will be there. So that is ductile or ductility we call. Ductile metals are those metals which can be drawn into thin wires. Okay, example is copper wire. So again, here we are going to differentiate with two, that is ductile and non-ductile. Where ductiles are copper, which is used in electricity, aluminium, gold, silver. These are the four ductiles that we are going to use. Copper is with the formula that is Cu, aluminium is Al, gold is Au, the symbol, silver is Ag. So these four are the ductiles, means metals which can be drawn into thin wires. Okay, non-ductile means zinc, arsenic and antimony. Okay, these three are the non-ductile, means they cannot be drawn into thin wires. Okay, whereas these three non-ductiles, zinc, arsenic and antimony, they cannot be drawn into thin wires. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು thin wires ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. Whereas these things we can make it as thin wires. Okay, that we call it as ductile or ductility. Now moving on to good conductor of heat and electricity. So good conductor of heat and electricity is that we are gonna discuss now. So it means that metals which have free mobile electrons. You people may get confused what is the meaning of free mobile electrons. I'll discuss and tell you. The metals which have free mobile electrons that constitute the current will be considered as the good conductor of heat and electricity. Okay, free mobile electrons means it is that free moving electrons. Free moving electrons is known as free mobile electrons. So it means that free moving electrons is used in electric current, isn't it? Electric current it is used. Okay, whereas metals which have free moving electrons that constitutes the current will be considered as good conductor. Anything that allows in free moving of electrons. Say for example we are passing the current. Okay, say for example we are passing the current. It has to be a good conductor. Okay, of heat and electricity. So let us take an example for this. So an example for this can be bulb. An example for this can be bulb. Okay, where it comes under, this is the tungsten or filament we can call it as. So it contains this is tungsten and filament. So best conductor of heat and electricity, that is silver. So it is, we call it as good conductor. Okay, that good conductors are silver, copper and aluminium. Whereas poor conductor of heat and electricity is that lead, bismuth and tungsten. So here I have, as I told, that the example that I'm going to take here is tungsten. Okay, which is used in bulb. See, we are using tungsten used in bulb as filament. Okay, as filament we are using, which contains or which carries out it, obstruction it will act as, it acts as obstruction in bulb. So heat and it allows to heat and light. So it acts as obstruction. Is it okay, children? So good conductor of heat and electricity is that metals which have free moving electrons that constitutes the current will be considered as good conductor of heat and electricity. So the best examples are like the silver, copper and aluminium. So these are the two things that we have carried out. Best conductor of heat and electricity is silver, and poor conductor of heat and electricity is lead, bismuth and tungsten, which is used in bulb as filament. Now moving on to sonorous. Sonorous means metals are sonorous as they produce sound which they are hit. So when metals are hit, they produce sound. Okay, say for example, if taking this pen as a metal, if I beat this metal, they produce sound. If I hit this metal, it produces sound. Okay, it means that sonorous as they produce sound, they are hit. When they are hit, the sonorous of the metal depends on temperature and density as well. So how much sound does it produce depends on it. So ಇವಾಗ this is a pen as taking, assuming to be as metal. I'm here, so for example, I'm hitting, means it produces some sound. Okay, how much sound does it produce? It depends on temperature and density. Okay, it depends on temperature and density. Sonorous means metals are sonorous as they produce sound when they are hit. The sonorous of metal depends on temperature and density. Okay, I hope children this is clear. So next, moving on to lustrous. Okay, so what is the meaning of lustrous? Lustrous are those metals which have shine, as they can be polished, and electronic structure is capable of reflecting incident light is considered to be lustrous metals. So examples are gold, silver, copper and platinum. So these are, so lustrous meaning means shine. So meaning of lustrous is shine. Okay. Say for example, taking a ring. Okay. Taking a ring. So for example, if this is the ring, when light falls on, say when light falls on, it reflects, isn't it? When light falls on, it reflects. So on the shiny material, lustrous means it should have polished surface which are good reflectors. So this ring is polished surface. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪಾಲಿಶ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಚಿನ್ನನ ಅಥವಾ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್, ಕಾಪರ್, ಪ್ಲಾಟಿನಮ್, ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್, when we polish it well, it gives us good reflectors. So shine ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So say for example, gold, if it's new gold, when you make it polish, when you give a polish, it reflects. Similarly, silver also, when you polish it well, it reflects. Similarly, copper also, copper is a very good reflector, isn't it? ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವಾಶ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, when we give a very good polish to copper, it gives tremendous reflector. It will be a tremendous reflector. That is the meaning of lustrous, means shine. Platinum also gives us shine. So when light falls on, it reflects, having polished surface which gives good reflectors. So next, now moving on to solid at room temperature. So solid at room temperature means mostly the metals are solid at room temperature. Okay, most of the solids are at room temperature. So metals which are at room temperature, that is mercury. Mercury is a metal and gallium is also a metal. Okay, so these are the two metals which are solid in state and that kept at room temperature. Mostly the metals are solid at room temperature, means these are solid in nature. These two metals are solid in nature and which are kept in room temperature. That we call it as solid at room temperature. See for example, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಮೆಟಲ್ ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ which is solid in nature. Okay, mercury and gallium are the two metals which are kept in room temperature. These are solids, so mercury contains more weight. So say for example, if you take some amount, this much of amount, it carries lots of weight because it's a metal. Okay, it's a solid metal and kept at room temperature. That we call it as solid at room temperature. And nextly, we have high melting and boiling points. That is, all metals have melting and boiling points. Okay, so for example, here exceptional case that we are taking sodium and potassium. Na means sodium and K means potassium. Okay, so it is that in exceptional case we are taking and we are keeping at high melting and boiling points. It may be either high melting point or it may be boiling point. So all metals have melting and boiling point. Exceptional is that we are taking sodium and potassium. So sodium and potassium are soft in nature. These two metals are soft in nature. Okay, so these are the two metals which are soft in nature. So these are the two metals which are liquid. Okay, so now don't get confused. Here ma'am you said it is solid and here you are saying is liquid. No, it will be in two forms. Okay, so jelly type irutte. It will be solid jelly types nodirtiralla, jelly balls anta heltivalla, or else like jelly chocolates. Yes, so nodakke solid tara irutte, but it is liquid. It contains liquid materials, that is mercury and gallium. So don't get confused children, because here you have told solid and here you are saying liquid. No, it is not like that. It is a jelly part like thing. Okay, which will be, to see it will be in a solid form, whereas when you see inside it is liquid form. So for example jelly chocolates, adu nodakke solid ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮುಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ it is jelly, isn't it? We can move it as well anyhow we want. So that is, we call it as high melting and boiling points. It is, we take it under these things. Okay, so what are these high melting and boiling points we have gone through? So in this high melting and boiling points, we have, just a minute. So for example, here you can see metals like sodium and potassium are soft. See, that is what I have mentioned here. Metals like sodium and potassium are soft and can be cut with knife. So sodium na matte potassium metals enirutte, we can cut it with the knife. Okay, so for example we are taking sodium, we can cut that with knife. It is such soft metal. Okay, similarly we have mercury. Mercury is the one metal which is found in liquid state at room temperature. So these are exceptional cases. These are the metals also. These are also the metals, but these are under exceptional cases. And we can see the metals in chain form also. So we can see some chained form metals also. Say for example now swing use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, when we while playing swing, so it contains chain, isn't it? For these things we call it as hard metals. Okay, we call it as hard metals. So this is the swing which contains hard metals. Okay children, so metals is of different types and different forms as well. So this completes the physical properties of metals. So this finish off by physical properties of metals. Now moving on to chemical properties of metals. That in chemical properties of metals we have reaction of metals with oxygen, reaction of metals with water, reaction of metals with dilute acid, reaction of metals with salt solution. Okay, we can take this as reaction with oxygen, reaction with water, then reaction with acids, then reaction with bases. So dilute acids is nothing but acids and salt solution means base. Okay, so these are the chemical properties of metals that we are gonna discuss, and we'll discuss about the chemical properties of metals in the next part. Okay, thank you children.